Hello, this is Ben Television News Roundup, a compilation of major stories in the weekend. And I'm Tunde Alabi. Thank you for being part of the program today. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn has said GP practices are under enormous stress due to shortage of housing, social care, social worker, and public sector pay cap. He advocated more investment in public services and increase in taxes where necessary.
I'm visiting this excellent GP's practice, and Dr. Sahota has shown me around, and we've been talking to the nurse, we've been talking to those that are taking blood samples, talking to the administration staff, and talking to a group of local GPs about the work they have. What comes home to me is how important the GP practices are, how it is the open door for the NHS. It's the way in which people come in, their cases assessed, and decide where they're going to go to from there on. And so I've learnt a great deal this morning. But you know, freezing the salaries of NHS staff, as the nurse was telling me, 7 years of a pay freeze, means that in reality her income is 14% lower than it ought to have been by this stage. The stress levels are getting higher and higher, and with the shortage of housing, shortage of social care, and the shortage of social workers, the stress then is visited upon the GP's practice. And so what happens here is often a symptom of the malaise in society that austerity has brought about so much stress and so much hardship for so many other people. The answer is a blunt truth. We have to invest more in our public services in order that our populations are healthier, our children are healthier, and our public sector employees are less stressed and decently paid. It costs, and we should be prepared to pay that cost by raising taxes where necessary to cover that, and those taxes should come from those shoulders that are broad enough to bear them.
Londoners are reacting to the rising cost of living in the city, saying the cost of living has risen far above their earnings. They expressed concern that their earnings may not be able to support their cost of living in another 5 years.
We are out on the streets of London asking the British public about their opinion on whether they feel like how much they earn in the UK is enough for them to survive, and also whether they feel like their earnings will be enough for them in 5 years' time. So come along with me and let's see their opinions.
The cost of living, especially in London, is so not in proportion with your daily expenditures. Given that every other day you get increment in your the product and services that you use. Say, for instance, utilities at home, electric companies are constantly increasing, your phone bills is constantly going up, and even though you hear in the news that council taxes are going to be pegged, you don't really get to see that in comparison with what you earn. So I don't think that I would be able, to continue living this way if I don't have to work 2 or 3 jobs. Because in 5 years' time, with the rate at which things are going at the moment, who knows what will happen. Every quarterly, or do I say annually, companies increase their tariffs on the services that we buy into. And I don't think that if the minimum wage is not increased, we will struggle.
I think in terms of living, I wouldn't survive. I think the rents are really high, and I think I would have to move out with my current income.
Not very easy for everyone, but for myself it's okay. A lot of people, they have to work very hard. This is a lot of advertising, very expensive gadgets. So I think this is not for everybody. So I'm thinking.
Certainly not, because living in London is very expensive, and the cost of housing and rent has gone up quite a lot actually within the last 5 years, and your wages don't actually cover what you need to live on, to be honest.
Well, 5 years' time from now, things will be more expensive. So for now, I'm fine now. I'm only doing part-time, so I'm not really bothered that much because I have kids to look after. But 5 years' time from now, we'll have to see.
And what do you think will happen in 5 years' time that will change?
Well, 5 years time from now, hopefully more jobs and better government management over the people who are not as fortunate as I am, because I'm very fortunate in a good job, so yeah.
On a very basic level, I think, like, if no crises or emergencies happen, not buying anything particularly expensive, but yeah, it's difficult. You've got to be careful.
And not knowing the future, do you feel like in 5 years' time, with the wage you're earning right now, you'll still be able to survive?
I guess it depends what happens. Again, the survival, but it's survival maybe not in the place you want to live, or maybe not living the kind of life you'd want. Maybe survival, but not ideal survival.
It's way too low. I can't. It's very difficult.
And how do you feel like in 5 years' time, with the same wage that you earn, you'll be able to survive, whether you'll be able to live in London in 5 years' time?
No way. Not at all. Not at all.
Why not?
Because the wages you're earning now is quite small, and expenses keeps on going up and up and up, rent and bills to pay, so it's not difficult. It's really difficult. So the money needs to be increased so that we can feel comfortable where we live in.
You need to understand that we live in a global capitalist society, and there will never be equality. So no matter what happens, until you change market forces, there will always be a huge disparity between those who have and those who cannot, and what can be charged and what should be charged. And that's the issue that politicians need to find a fine line between, what should be charged rather than what can be charged.
So we've heard it all. We've heard the British public explain that living in London costs too much and how much they're earning is merely not enough. If how much they're earning now is the same as how much they'll earn in 5 years' time, they will not survive. This is Abigail Opia reporting for Ben TV.
The United States has threatened to end North Korea's Kim Jong-un's regime if it goes ahead with its threat to attack Guam, a remote Pacific island belonging to the U.S. North Korea has been developing and testing long-range missile capable of hitting U.S.'s territory with nuclear warheads.
The U.S. State Department on Wednesday defended Trump's pledge that the U.S. will respond with fire and fury to North Korea's threat it could strike the U.S. island territory of Guam. Guam is home to 2 strategic U.S. military bases.
Let's consider what is alarming. What is alarming: 2 ICBM tests in less than a month, 2 nuclear tests that took place last year. As a matter of fact, when there's an earthquake in China, I get many emails and calls from all of you asking, was it another nuclear test? That is how big of a deal this is, at what is going on.
The State Department spokesperson said North Korea's nuclear arms are a threat to the international community, not just the United States. The French government on Wednesday praised Trump's firm response to the North Korean threat to the U.S. territory, but also urged a peaceful solution.
France is ready to put its good officers at their disposal so that we can find a peaceful solution, because the risk exists. And the determination of the American president, as it was voiced last night, is the same determination as any American president would have, because they cannot accept that part of their territory could be the target of ballistic missile attacks.
Japan said it had conducted joint air drills with its jet fighters and U.S. supersonic bombers in Japanese skies close to the Korean peninsula on Tuesday. The saber rattling has sparked some concern among South Koreans.
Someone who's just about to join the national service, as someone who's actually got a real possibility of having to serve and contribute to this ongoing issue, yes, it is scary.
My boyfriend is in the military protecting this nation as a soldier, so I feel more worried because someone close to me is involved. And as a citizen, watching such news just makes me more nervous.
Russia has called for a diplomatic solution to ease the tensions. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, on his way to Guam, said the North Korean leader does not seem to understand the language of diplomacy.
However, experts have warned that U.S.'s war with North Korea will affect several hundreds of thousands of people in the region. Although experts have said despite North Korea's missile capability, it cannot win the war against the U.S.
In the best case scenario, a limited U.S. preemptive strike on a missile launch site or nuclear facility would not seriously degrade North Korea's capabilities, but it may convince the country's leader, Kim Jong-un, to seek dialogue rather than risk a war he knows he cannot win.
자기가 여기서 인내를 하고
If he stays patient and tries to find an exit through negotiations with the U.S. using China and Russia, he may stay alive.
살 수 있을 것이기 때문에.
However, the very justification for military action to eliminate the North's nuclear threat is that the aggressive leadership in Pyongyang cannot be counted on to act with restraint.
So there seems to be a disconnect between saying Kim Jong-un is crazy and might launch an attack, but he would be rational enough not to respond to a U.S. attack.
North Korea warned it would teach the United States a severe lesson by responding with nuclear weapons to any military action. But military strategists say a limited strike would more likely provoke a deadly North Korean artillery and possibly chemical weapon attack against South Korea, which could escalate into a major conflict along the heavily militarized inter-Korean border and draw into the fighting over 28,000 American troops stationed in the south. North Korea has the capability to fire 300,000 artillery rounds in the first hour of an attack that can reach half of the South Korean population, including the 10 million people living in Seoul. A more extensive attack to target all of North Korea's missile and nuclear facilities would likely have to include contingencies for a full-scale invasion of the country.
To guarantee that you've eliminated all North Korean nuclear and missile capabilities really would require an end of the North Korean regime.
In the end, military strategists say U.S. forces would prevail in a war with North Korea, but it would devastate the region and cost millions of lives. And there is also a real possibility China would enter the fight in support of its ally North Korea, further escalating what would be an already bloody conflict.
Meanwhile, Japan has expressed concern that North Korea has the capability to hit Tokyo with a nuclear missile within 10 minutes of its launch in Pyongyang. As the country marks another anniversary of suffering a nuclear attack on it during World War II, Japan is bracing up for possible attack from North Korea.
A Japanese defense paper this week echoed reported concerns among US intelligence that Pyongyang has achieved the key final step of miniaturizing nuclear warheads. Former Defense Ministry advisor Narushige Michishita.
It is possible, or quite likely even, that North Korea can attack Tokyo with nuclear weapons today. And if missiles is launched, it will reach Japan within 10 minutes.
North Korea is believed to have more than 200 missiles capable of hitting Japan. An attack on a crowded city like Tokyo would put hundreds of thousands of lives at risk. Japan's constitution allows military action only in self-defense. Hawkish conservatives, including Finance Minister Taro Aso, argue Japan should keep open the option of developing nuclear weapons. The issue is openly debated in South Korea, but polls show just 5% of Japanese want the country to be a nuclear power.
I don't think we will go nuclear in the foreseeable future. Even if South Koreans might go nuclear, we will be the last.
Others question whether nuclear weapons would offer diplomatic leverage.
If we possess nuclear weapons and say we would retaliate if North Korea used nuclear weapons against, is it credible? I don't think so.
This week marked the anniversary of the 1945 Hiroshima and Nagasaki nuclear bombings, which killed hundreds of thousands of people. The commemorations were clouded by renewed talk of war.
Strong fears are spreading that nuclear weapons may be used in the not-so-distant future.
Japan's Prime Minister reiterated the country's long-held position.
Here in Nagasaki, a city that continues to pray for perpetual peace, I reaffirm my commitment to realizing a peaceful world without nuclear weapons.
Analysts question whether that commitment would be tested if Japan came under attack.
Nigerians in the UK and across Europe have expressed different views on calls for President Muhammadu Buhari to either resign or be impeached following his absence from Nigeria as a result of ill health. Earlier during a phone-in program I hosted, Nigerians were sharply divided.
From Republic of Ireland, please.
It's a pleasure having you again this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. I must commend you for the good job you are doing. Keep it up.
Thank you.
We are happy. We Nigerians, we are happy. Continue the good job, please. Let me go straight to the point, please. Our president has to be impeached. That is straightforward. We are living in Europe. We have learned from their standard. We are still learning from their standard. Please, let nobody cover up anything. We are all Nigerians. Let us move that country forward. Our president is sick. He has tried. If he cannot continue, let the National Assembly do the right thing to impeach him. And may I remind you, Tunde, and the viewers and all Nigerians, that President Muhammadu Buhari campaigned against shopping for medical care abroad. He even threatened to close it up. This same president campaigned to shop for education abroad. Today, his children are all over Europe having education. So all of his promises to Nigerians, he has not fulfilled any. And now he is sick. And may I remind you again that this same president, Muhammadu Buhari, called for impeachment during the time of Yar'Adua, when Yar'Adua was sick and absent for some days. So I can't see the reason why now it is his turn and the National Assembly is not doing the right thing. Please, let me just put it short and simple. This is my own view. President Muhammadu Buhari should be impeached. Let the National Assembly do the right thing. Let that country move forward.
From London.
All right, go ahead. I can hear you. Keep talking, Joseph.
I want to participate in this program.
Yes, go on. You're live.
He cannot be impeached because he's not God. God made him to be sick. And it's only the medical doctor in London that can make him either certify him not to be unfit to be the president of Nigeria. Not the Senate, nor anybody.
So
and the question about corruption. This man is trying his best to see that every Nigerian enjoy themselves. Myself talking to you now, I'm a Nigerian. I cannot go to Nigeria because of corruption. Corruption everywhere. Corruption is working in the streets of Nigeria. Do you people like it? Everybody in Nigeria is hungry. It's not Buhari that created the hunger. I am not a politician. I do not belong to APC or PDP. But the problem started from the previous government. So that's what I have to say. Thank you very much.
All right, Joseph. So in your view, Nigerians should just not, the National Assembly should not bother about the president. They should allow him to get well and continue.
Yes, all they can do is to pray for him to get well.
Yes, I'm calling from London.
All right, thank you, Ngozi. Go ahead and make your point.
Okay, it's a welcome speech.
And the question is, should the National Assembly impeach President Muhammadu Buhari 91 days away now from the homeland?
Well, I want to make a reference to what the last speaker has just said.
Okay, go on.
Just said, sickness is not a guarantee or a sympathy issue. And it's not an individual that he is leading. He's leading a whole country, a nation, where we have people that are even qualified and more to replace him in case he is sick. We all have that feeling of sickness once in a while, but not on a platform of that level. If he is sick and he cannot lead our nation, he should step down and keep on enjoying his medical treatment and also continue to their life. That seat is not a do or die affair for him. So I am saying it categorically without sentiment. A leader cannot lead his country for months and yet claiming to be our leader. And what he contested for his election is not what we are seeing now. Because while he's here in London, his helicopter is parked at the airport paying demurrage. It is all about Nigerian money. So please, he needs to be impeached and replaced with somebody that is healthy. And then he can take his time and take care of health and continue with his medical treatment. It is not his personal position to remain the president forever in Nigeria. That's what I'm saying.
So in your opinion, you think the National Assembly should impeach him if he does not resign?
That is my own opinion.
So by contrast, you are not agreeing with Joseph?
I don't agree with him at all. We have policies, we have regulations, we have legislators in Nigeria, well qualified, even more than him. So if he is not fit to lead our nation, let him step down. That is not his, it is not his permanent position. Let him step down, then have time to treat himself and be well and be alive. Let others that are healthy continue. NCC cannot keep him there as a figure and then continue, the country will just continue to be in a mess. Because everything they campaigned for during his campaign has not been done, nothing. Even he is now the person breaking those rules of overseas treatment, overseas going to school, overseas this and that. It's all about our money. The economy is not getting better. So let him step down, let him be categorically impeached.
Where are you calling from?
From Birmingham.
From Birmingham. Good morning. And then go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, I just done your program now. Buhari, Homeland, Access, National Assembly, impeach him now.
Yeah.
Well,
91 days now that he's been away from the country.
Yeah, well, but when someone's sick, do you know when the person is going to be well?
Of course, we don't know.
People talk as they've never been sick in their life. Here in this country, we are. I work with NHS. When people sick, they give them sick leave, you get the distance from the note from the doctor. Sometimes you can even be sick for when you are sick for 6 months.
But is that comparable when you're talking about a leader, a president of a country or a governor of a state, somebody who takes decision, number one citizen of a state or of a country, somebody who takes decision about the country? Is that the same thing?
Sir, this president, was his intention to post it?
Of course not.
So, what is this this Ulabalu? Noise of a kid. This man posted it. He has been contested to be the president of this country for more than 3 times. And he eventually won. The people making this noise didn't vote him. We that vote for him, we that come back for him, believe in his leadership, we know that God knows what he's doing. You don't know when you're going to die, you don't know when you're going to post it. So this man forced it instead of Nigerians praying for him. It's unfortunate. A country, the president called for his people to pray for a president of Nigeria.
Good morning, I'm calling from Italy.
Good morning.
Yeah, what I want to say here is this. I'm sorry about the illness of the president, but the problem here is that I think our nation has come to a point where we should start to look at our constitution, what it says, and what it did not say. And we need to know how long can somebody be absent in his office and the nation can deal with it. So let's just interpret what the constitution says. Because I don't think it is right for the president to be out indefinitely and we just keep silent. Exactly. And the fact is that they are not communicating his status of the state of his illness is another problem. So I think as Nigerian, I wish the president well. But Nigeria deserves sincerity. They deserve honesty. We need to know what is going on. If he is capable of going with his work, glory be to God. But if not, I think there are other Nigerians who can take over. So that the nation can go on. Our nation is bigger than anybody.
Philip, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London.
Go ahead. Thank you.
The issue of telling people, asking whether the president will be impeached or not is rubbish.
No.
The president can never be impeached.
Okay.
I see no reason why he should be impeached if he has not violated any part of the Nigerian constitution. On this, I mean, we all know that he has not been feeling well, and obviously for more than 90 days now. And has that actually have any impact on Nigeria so far? As far as I'm concerned, I think no, because the vice president has been the acting president, has been doing his best to make sure nothing stops, the economy, security, all the things that the president should be working on. He is doing it well so far. So, and that is why we have a vice president to step in when the president is not available to perform his duty. And in this case, because of the extenuating circumstances that, he's here on a medical ground, and we are all human at the end of the day, who knows tomorrow? Anything could happen to any one of us tomorrow. So if he's here for medical reason, and we all wish him well, and as the Senate said, he has never violated any constitution. So I believe, a government is not only about Muhammad Buhari, it's about the other cabinet members that actually work and support the president to function properly.
That report will conclude the news roundup for this week. Thank you for being part of the program. I'm Tunde Alabi. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye. As part of our continued efforts to reach the African and other ethnic communities in the United Kingdom with greater impacts and create the platform to hear your silent and unheard views in this hugely growing community in the United Kingdom, our channel, Ben TV, presents to you another live current affairs television program. Our focus on the program is to review and discuss issues around the diaspora community in the UK. The program offers you that unrestricted voice on issues affecting you in the UK. Join us live every Monday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Another business segment of Dialogue in Diaspora, 2 to 3 p.m. every Monday. But guess what? You can be part of the program. Just send us an email at bentelevisionuk@gmail.com. Dialogue in Diaspora, your voice, your opinion on our TV.